Hola y'all, I have a very special treat for you today. We're continuing on our bread making journey, and today we're going to be making sweet Hawaiian rolls. Yes, you heard me right, like the ones you buy in the grocery store that are so delicious. I'm going to show you how to make them from scratch, homemade, and you may never go to the grocery store to buy those again. And one of the best things about this recipe is that we do not need a bread machine. So grab your confidence, grab your baking ingredients, and join me. Let's make some homemade baked goods. Now, I am using a stand mixer. If you do not have a stand mixer, that's okay. You can still do this. I just happen to have one, so I'm going to utilize it for my kneading. But if you don't have one, you can knead it by hand. It's no problem at all. It's just a little bit longer and just a little bit more work, but totally doable. So do not let expensive equipment or the lack of any equipment stop you from doing what you want to do. This is not even an expensive stand mixer. This is the only one that I could afford a couple of years ago, and I have not upgraded because I don't feel the need to upgrade yet. I'm just going to continue to use it until it no longer serves its purpose. The first thing we're going to do is take half a cup of pineapple juice, and half a cup of milk into a microwave safe bowl. I'm actually going to leave it in this glass measuring cup because it can go into the microwave. I want to warm this up until it reaches between 100 and 110 degrees. This is 100% to make my yeast successful, and I do have a thermometer to check it. So I'm going to pop it in the microwave for probably about a minute, and then I'll check the temperature. Now I'm going to check the temperature. A minute in the microwave got me to 100 degrees. I'm going to do it for another 10 to 15 seconds. I'm going to check it again. If you're curious what I'm looking for the sweet spot of 105 degrees, but you can do anything between 100 and 110. It's just the OCD in me that wants to land straight in the middle. So, all right, to my pineapple juice and my warm milk, I want to add a tablespoon of honey. And I love my little honeycomb jar. A couple of friends and myself, we go out to eat every now and then, and we always go to like TJ Maxx and Ross and wherever just to like shop around and hang out. And I've been looking for a honey jar with like this little honeycomb attachment, and I had not been able to find one, and one of my good friends that was with me found it for me, and I absolutely love it. I do have to wash the jar. It gets kind of sticky, but it is so cute. And it's easy to serve like that. After adding the tablespoon of honey, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of active dry yeast straight into the pineapple milk and honey mixture. I'm going to give this a stir. And then I'm going to set this to the side while we work on our dry ingredients. I'm going to be doing this in the bowl of my stand mixer. The first thing I want to talk about is the flour. Now I'm choosing to do a combination. You could totally just do all-purpose flour. That would be completely fine. But I wanted to add in a little bit of whole wheat flour for some structure, some chew. I just like the texture that it gives. So that's what I'm going to do. That's what's reflected in my recipe. But you could do bread flour, or you could do all-purpose flour. Totally okay. I'm going to be adding half a cup of whole wheat flour. Learning as I go on this journey of bread making into yeast and sourdough that the whole wheat flour has a lot of extra protein in it that really supports yeast and sourdough baked goods. So that's why I like to add a little bit of it in there. Now we're going to add 2 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour. Okay, to my whole wheat flour and my all-purpose flour, I want to add some salt and 1/4 cup of sugar. I'm also going to add 2 eggs straight into the flour and 4 tablespoons of softened but not melted butter. Now it's time to add our pineapple milk and yeast mixture. And look how foamy and bubbly it is. It is so active, it is ready to go. Pour that right in. I like to make sure we get all of this yeast into our bread. Now it's time to use our stand mixer. I have the paddle attachment. I'm gonna put this on medium speed, which for my stand mixer is number 2. I'm gonna let it knead my dough for 10 minutes. I'll scrape down the sides periodically. Okay, now that our bread has been kneading for 10 minutes, it's still going to be a little bit, I don't want to say runny or gummy, but it is a little bit loose, but we're going to fix that. I'm going to make sure I get all of it off of my dough hooks. It does look and feel a little gummy. So what I want to do, I want to take some all-purpose flour and sprinkle a good amount of it on a clean work surface. It's not a good day to wear black. Just making it worse. And I'm going to get my dough onto the work surface. Then I want to knead this dough a little bit by hand to incorporate more flour. And this is how I'm going to do that. I'm just going to begin folding it over on itself. And it's very soft. It's a beautiful dough. It smells so good, but it is very sticky. So as you do this, you are going to add more flour. And I'm just going to continue to fold it over itself. Just like that. And what I'm looking for, and I don't know that I'm there yet, I'm going to check. When I push in, I want it to bounce back. And it's almost there. I'm just going to do a little bit more. Folding, turn, fold, flatten. Do it again. Okay. And now I'm going to check it again. So when I push, does it bounce back? It absolutely does. So now I just want to make sure I form it into this nice, beautiful ball. Just like that. You see how it has some bounce back? Okay. I wanted to do it again, one more time, because it didn't have as much bounce back as I wanted. Okay. And now, let's see. That's perfect. I'm going to cover it with a clean dish towel and let it sit here and rise for an hour. Dough has been resting and rising for an hour. Look how pretty. And now I want to cut it into 8 equal portions, and I'm going to be using my bench scraper for this. So I'm just going to cut it in half, like that, and cut the halves in half, and then do it again. I'm going to take each portioned section of dough, and I'm just going to roll it around in my hand. Well, first, I got ahead of myself. First, I need to butter my glass baking dish really, really well, because I don't want the rolls to stick. Okay, now I'm going to take a ball of dough and I'm going to roll it in my hands until it becomes a nice, smooth ball. And I'm going to place it into my greased or my buttered baking dish. And I'm just going to continue this process. I just want them to be really smooth on top. Now that I have all of my rolls rolled out and put in my buttered baking dish, I'm going to cover them again and preheat my oven to 350 degrees. Okay, now that my rolls have been sitting for about, 15-30 minutes, I'm going to uncover them and I'm going to brush them with a little bit of egg wash. This is just 1 egg beaten, and I added a little bit of water. So I'm going to be very gentle when I do this. I don't want to put any pressure on the rolls. I don't want to deflate them in any way. This is just going to give us that nice, beautiful brown color and a little bit of a crisp on top. Nothing super crunchy because we don't want our rolls to be crunchy. We want them to be tender and fluffy. Okay. Last one. Looks good. All right, these are going to go in a 350 degree oven for about 20 to 25 minutes, and I'm just going to watch them till they get browned on top. Okay guys, the only thing we have left to do is to brush them with a little bit of melted butter and honey. Just put it in a mixing bowl. I've got my brush. Just going to combine that melted butter and honey and just brush it right over the tops of our rolls. Let me show you. I know that these are still hot, but I cannot resist. I want to taste one. Whew. Oh my goodness, they are so fluffy and light. You have to make this. You have to. And just think of all the things you can do with it, like make the Hawaiian roll sliders the next day. These are perfect. See you next time.